Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I channeled the Council of Light to ask them what 5 things can we do to help open and use our gifts. This is not to strengthen them, this is more when you're in the beginning stages. I was meant to be filming while channeling a different video today, but then last minute I just felt called to change it to this, so I guess whoever needs it is going to find it, and I hope you stick around and subscribe and like the video. Also, before we get into it, this is my new crystal. I wrapped some wiring around it today to put it on a chain, and it's from Limeria, so it's a Limerian sea crystal and I'm obsessed with it. I want to do a channeling video with this crystal and channel it and tell you all about the crystal because it's really cool. It's got their memories in it, but I'm still connecting with it, I'm still vibing with it, and yeah, I just kind of want to keep it close for a little while before I kind of do that video. But yeah, okay, so also comment below if you want to see a video like that, because yeah, it helps to know what you guys want to see and what you guys want me to channel, because yeah, normally I kind of do more teaching videos, but recently I feel like I've just been drawn to more channeling videos. So yeah, anyways, so this is basically 5 things that will help people tap into their like psychic gifts, like mediumship gifts, like all of their gifts basically. I didn't just say one type of gift, it's just an open-ended, and yeah, anyways, I asked them and it's really good. They came back with some really good advice and things that I just initially wouldn't have give you. I wouldn't have give you this advice. You know, people say like crystals and like do this practice, and that's what my analytical, logical brain would go to, but it's nice to get a different opinion. So number 1 is make time for silence. A lot of time people are so trapped and busy in their day, they're like stuck in their heads in their phone, or they're just on autopilot. A lot of people that are awakening are kind of like shifting out of that dynamic and really trying to be more present in the moment, but even then there's not really much time for silence, and they said that this is super important because a lot of the time people's gifts are already on. They're wondering why like they're not able to channel, why am I not able to get all these downloads, and it's 333 on the camera, but actually it's always been open for them, and it's like it's always open, it's been open for a long time, and they're just not able to know that because they've not ever kept enough like silence. They've not spent time with just not needing to be anywhere, not wanting to go on your phone and distracting yourself because you need to fill in this time of nothingness because you're bored, or because it feels weird to just not be looking at a screen when you're, you know, when there's an advert on or whatever it is. They're saying that basically these are the times where they would give you these downloads. If you were still and present enough in your body, you'd be able to get these, but you're basically missing out. So they're saying the most important one to start off with is silence. So create time in your day to make sure there is silence. Just meditate with silence, and if that makes you feel uncomfortable, do it for longer, because there's something there that needs to be removed. You need to get more comfortable being in the silence. This used to really freak me out. I used to hate it. I used to always be like, oh no, it just makes me uncomfortable, and the more I did it, the more I enjoyed it, and now I hate going on my phone. I love YouTube, don't get me wrong, I actually love YouTube. I don't watch telly, I don't have a telly in my living room, but like I love just getting off my phone, getting off the screen, and just doing other things that don't involve a screen, or like just meditating. And like it just feels like the more silence you have, the more you crave it, and it feels so good, and you realize that it's not scary at all, and actually it's really amazing. So enough of me ranting about silence, but basically make sure you have enough time for them to even give you messages. And also they were saying about, when they was talking about silence, they was also saying that when you're meditating, don't just meditate to channel. Like, just meditate for the silence, and the channel will come through anyway. But when you're, if you're setting intentions to open your third eye and to connect with your gifts, then they already know that you want to connect to that. Put it out there already, tell them that. But then when you're, every time you're meditating, don't just do it just to channel, because you're still then trying to, I did this, as why I'm like, it came up in why I was talking about it, because I would then, because I didn't like the silence, I would then connect, channel. I was very good at just moving the stuff to the side, channeling, and then yeah, that was it. I didn't ever meditate just with silence. I kind of did the channeling and then was out. But now I love just meditating, just to meditate, because it's just that quieting of your mind is super crucial, super important. So don't get caught up with the, I have to be channeling, why is there nothing coming through, blah blah blah. Just meditate for silence, or just sit in silence. And you don't have to be closing your eyes and in a meditative space. Just, yeah, more silence. Number 2 is a practice buddy, and I thought this was so cool. They basically said, have someone who you feel safe with, you can practice with. Basically calm your mind. Set the intention to connect with their energy. Oh, there was a fly. To connect with their energy, and maybe your intention is to channel their loved ones, or to channel their energy, or their past lives, or to channel what their dream meant, or that to see their aura, like whatever it is. There's so many gifts. It's just, I don't even know about all of them. There's just so many. So don't limit yourself just thinking that there's only certain things you can do, because there's just so much we can do. So all you have to do is just set the intention to connect. How I do that, I really like to concentrate on the person in my third eye, like imagine them in my head, and I like to imagine our bodies, like our energy, like merging, that word anyways. And I just basically see that happening, and I'm still one in myself, and they're still one in themselves, but we're just connecting our energies. And then make sure you cut the cords and cut the energy, give their energy back and take yours back for you at the end of the session. That's super important. But basically they was just saying that make sure it's someone where you can feel silly and you can say silly things without feeling like they're gonna think I'm like losing the plot, or if you get something wrong, that you're not gonna feel like, oh, I'm totally crap, I'm so sorry. Like, you're allowed to get things wrong, you're allowed to feel silly. Some things that come through in readings make me feel like I actually tell them, I'm like, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying it. And then they keep pestering me, so I say it, and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that, because it resonates with what they're going through, or what a memory of theirs. But it feels totally crazy to us because it just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, a lot of the time it actually makes sense to them. And yeah, so I just now even say the crazy things that come to my mind, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm hearing this, but I'm hearing this, or I'm seeing this, and then it mostly resonates with them. So yeah, make sure you can have a practice buddy. Tell them what you're doing. You can practice on them, they can practice on you. They can also help hold you accountable to make sure that you do try and actually practice, rather than, oh, I'm going to practice now, and then 6 weeks later, okay, I'm going to practice again. Because you have to really, you don't have to be regimented and like do it at this amount of time every day or this every week. Like, go with the flow, but like don't just do it like every 6 weeks, because it just won't strengthen. It's a muscle. It's like if I go to the gym once every like month, I'm gonna be dying after each gym session. Whereas if I go every day, I'm gonna build up my tolerance and I'm gonna feel really good after the gym session. Don't know why I use that as an example, because I don't ever go to the gym. But yeah, just, you know, you have to build it up. It's a connection, and you have to learn how to use your intuition, use your connection. So that doesn't just happen overnight. Not always, anyway, it can. Okay, so number 3, write all your dreams down, because a lot of people are getting messages through dreams and they don't even realise it. We are very active in our astral realm, like in the astral realm when we're sleeping. And a lot of the time we're connecting with other people, and we can come back for messages for them, or, you know, things like that, from our dreams. And a lot of people just think that they're just dreams and it doesn't mean anything, but dreams are so important. Dreams are magical, and we don't really take any, like, hold any anything to the dreams. I don't know how to explain it, but like we just think, oh, well, it's just a dream. Dreams mean things. They all mean something. So, you know, make sure that you write all of your dreams down, even if it doesn't seem like, you know, well, that can't mean anything. Write it down, because the more you're showing that, you know, you're interacting with it, the more they will give you as well, and then the more you'll remember too. So yeah, make sure you're writing your dreams down, because a lot of the time that is people's gifts. It's their dreams. I know one girl from a few years ago. She used to just constantly get these dreams where it would like happen the next day or a few days later, and she could never really explain it until she started to write it down, and then she started to like piece bits together, and now she's really good, and people like go to her and they actually pay for readings for her to interpret their dreams. So that's really beautiful that her gift is mainly about dreams. But yeah, so yeah, that one is really good. Make sure you're writing it all down. And then also it's, so I was talking about how when we're asleep we have less resistance, our ego has less grip on us, and we feel like, you know, like when we're channeling in a session, like I said before, if something silly comes up, we feel like, oh, I don't really want to say that, because it feels like it doesn't resonate, it feels silly. Not that it doesn't resonate, it doesn't make sense to us, but it might make sense to them. Whereas when we're in our dream state, we have no resistance, it all just comes through. Our ego isn't there to be like, no, that feels silly, that they won't like that. So we won't hold back as much. So when we're having a dream, it all flows through. We write it all down as much as we remember, and then, you know, as we keep writing it down and down, every morning, as soon as you wake up, write it down straight away. Then you'll start to remember it more in more detail, and yeah, you won't have to write it down anymore. But it's really, it's a beautiful gift to have. And number 4 is acknowledging what you're seeing, feeling, hearing. And I just wrote seeing, feeling, hearing because that, you know, there's so many more. You can smell, you can taste, you can feel, as in like physical, or there's just so much. But I just wrote them just for the sake of the video. But yeah, so acknowledge actually what you're experiencing, rather than just ignoring it and just thinking, well, that's crap, I don't want to see a shadow, I want to see a full apparition of a person in a whole outfit, and I want to see every detail, and I want to know where they're from, and I want to know what time, you know, line they were from, and who they are, and, you know, everything about them. But it doesn't just happen like that sometimes. We have to acknowledge you've asked to have your third eye open. So if you see like a light, then Thank you so much for letting me see you. Thank you for connecting with me. And yeah, just acknowledge what you're seeing. Like, thank the universe, thank your spirit guides, thank your higher self, or whoever you resonate with. Like, thank you for showing me and, you know, helping me see this, helping me use my gifts. Like, acknowledge it. When I used to help people with, you know, law of attraction, I used to make so many videos about law of attraction. The key was always acknowledging the signs of seeing that it's coming into fruition into your life. And people are so easy to do that in law of attraction, but then when it comes to using their gifts, they kind of just forget about it. And it's like, well, I'm not receiving a physical thing, so I'm not really interested. Like, no, you have to acknowledge it. So acknowledge it in whatever way you know, you whatever happens naturally in the moment. So if you see a spirit, then maybe, like, you know, acknowledge it, like, you know, thank you for showing yourself to me, like, I'm Abby, you know, you're free to tell me your name if that feels good to you. You know, make sure you're connecting to a higher being as well, rather than like a low frequency being. That's very important. They do write that on one of them too. But yeah, like, basically chat, or if it's maybe a dream that you had and then like little parts of the dream came true, then acknowledge it. Whatever it is, acknowledge it. If you just have a thought to ring that person and then the person messages you or rings you, or you ring them and they think like, oh my god, I was just about to ring you, like, acknowledge these things, because these gifts are all coming together, and the only way they're going to get stronger is when you acknowledge them and you're actually building the connection, because you're understanding that this is my gift and it's getting stronger and I've asked for this. So it's gonna, the more you have gratitude and, you know, you're aware of your gifts and what is your gifts and what's not, then the stronger it's gonna get. So yeah, that's really important. Okay, so number 5, make sure you learn how to use discernment of what is light and what is dark. So we want to make sure we're connecting to higher vibrational beings or source frequency itself. I do not want to teach people to connect to lower vibrational beings, because there's a lot of scary things that can happen. There's a lot of scary things out there, and yes, you may encounter them from time to time, but we don't want to encourage them to come into our life, because that's just not, it's not a vibe, it's crap. So don't do it. And also, you can never tell when they're lying anyway, because they lie all the time. So it doesn't, like, there's no point in channeling them. So just don't let your curiosity take you there. Do not do it. So yeah, always making sure that you're setting your boundaries with your spirit team. Like, I only want to connect with love and light. And then if you're channeling, let's say they say that they're your spirit guide and it starts to feel off and it's just like, this doesn't feel right, and whatever they're saying feels like, you know, I want this to happen but doesn't feel right, then question them. Like, show me that you're telling the truth. Show me that you're from a higher frequency of, like, you know, source energy and unconditional love. Show me. Because the love and light will show you, and the low vibrational frequency, like spirits or beings or whatever they are, they will not. And they will either be pissed off that you've caught them out, or they will go. So yeah, like, make sure you're very careful with who you are channeling or connecting with, or whatever that is. So yeah, I just wanted, well, I didn't even say this, is none of this was mine, this is all from the Council of Light. But I basically, when I was talking to them about it, they were saying that a lot of the time they always pretend to be their guides, and then it gets them all excited, like, yay, I'm finally channeling my guides, like my first time, or I'm like really new to channeling, so this feels so fun that I'm channeling my guides. And they said that they get them like that, and that's how it's easier for them to be tricked, because then they start to build a relationship off false love. So you can feel good off the negative beings too. They can make it feel all fluffy and good. It doesn't feel like unconditional love, but it can feel good. So when if you're not challenging them, if you challenge a higher vibrational being, it will never feel like angry or like, how dare you question me. It would never ever do that. It would actually like praise you and like, well done, amazing for you, you know, to question and feel strong within your power and within your right to question everything. Like, well done. And like, I can show you now how unconditionally loving I am, you know. So it's just step into that place where you're able to actually make sure and like question everything, and then it'll come a lot more easier, because we don't want to build that relationship when you're first starting to channel on like lack of love and the false love, the false light, because then you won't know the difference. So you'll think all of these things are true, and they can really mess with people's lives. A lot of the time they're not doing it in like, they don't want any harm to come to anyone, but they're just messing about. Like, you can get trickster spirits which are a pain in the ass, and they literally just think it's fun to just mess with people's lives and like make them like lose their jobs and, you know, things like that, and just relationships, and they just mess everything up because they have nothing better to do, to be honest. They clearly don't have as much light in them for them to have better things to do. So yeah, basically make sure you're questioning everything, and if it doesn't feel right, then trust yourself, trust that gut, because you're building your relationship more with your gut feeling, your intuition, and every being that is of a higher vibration will appreciate you and honour you and celebrate you for questioning. So yeah, that's it for today's video. It was from the Council of Light, and they've came to me a few times recently as I've been astro traveling and also just meditating, and it's a really cool like vibration. I really like their energy. It's yeah, I was gonna tell you more about who I've been channeling, but I think I'm gonna leave that one and talk about it in a different video, because I'm still getting used to it. So if you want to see the video of me channeling my Limerian star, my Limerian seed crystal, to get all of the you know, memories and see what comes up, and yeah, I'm super excited. Make sure you comment below, make sure you like the video, and also subscribe. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video.